I can't wait till I get home so you can tear that cherry out.
Hi guys, I'm Bunny from Bunny English Hair, and in today's video I want to talk to you all about hair porosity. Up until I started learning more about our natural hair, I had absolutely no idea what hair porosity was, but it is actually vital for everyone to know their hair porosity level. Hair porosity is about how well your hair is able to absorb and retain moisture. So it's all about how well it sucks all that moisture up and keeps it within our hair. So if you are currently testing out all different products on your hair, it's really handy to know how porous your hair is so that you can pick the right ones for it. How porous our hair is can be down to genetics, but at the same time it can also be down to changing the actual porosity level due to chemicals or even heat or even weather conditions. There are 3 different types of porosity levels when it comes to our hair. You can have low porosity, medium porosity, which is also known as normal, and also high porosity levels. The issues that you might face with a high or low porosity level of hair, you will not find in medium. So if you are medium, you absolutely have normal hair porosity level. So pat yourself on the back if you have that. But you might want to watch this video if you find that you do add too much heat or you chemically change your hair and you find that products that used to work on your hair doesn't work anymore, then you might be high or low in your porosity level. And with that being said, today I'm going to focus on low and high porosity level. So let's figure out what porosity level you are at the moment. Let's start with low porosity. If your hair has a low porosity level, this generally means that the cuticles are boundly tight and quite closed, so that any kind of absorption is really difficult. Low porosity issue number 1. So one of the first signs that you have low porosity hair is if you're adding products and you find that it just kind of sits rather than absorb straight away. Problem number 2 might be that you find when you do try and change the hair color that you have, it can take a little bit of a long time, and that's just because it doesn't absorb the color very well, and this also applies for when adding any kind of treatments or chemicals to your hair as well. If you notice that you generally like to use a hair dryer a little bit more than naturally leaving it to dry because it takes so long, this is also a sign that your hair may be low in porosity. Another indication that you may have a low porosity level is when you're washing your hair and you realize that the water droplets, you can actually see them, and rather than your hair soaking it up straight away, it's actually running off your hair. So this is also another thing to look out for. If you do feel that your hair's not being as effective as you want it to be, it's not actually sucking up the moisture, it's pretty much just letting it run off. If you do think that your hair might have low porosity, I would personally avoid using any kind of heavy butters or moisturizers that can leave your hair with the products literally laying on top, because it can be a little bit too much for it. So now let's address the issues that you might be facing with high porosity hair. So if you have hair that's damaged from chemical damaging or over processing, you may have high porosity hair because the actual hair strands themselves have been torn and too much has been going on for it to handle. So this has caused the actual hair strands itself to be actually damaged and attacked, causing it to let moisture in but also let moisture out very easily. If you notice that there's a lot of tangling that happens with your hair, this is also an indication that you may have high porosity level, because now that the actual hair strands itself is open, they're both open, there's a lot of intertwining and catching on of the actual cuticles itself rather than it being closed, which is the opposite of low porosity. You're not necessarily going to get a lot of tangling with that. If you generally use quite a few like milky based products or lotions, and you notice that it's not necessarily the products that are working for your hair, you might be suffering from high porosity. You may also find that your hair is very frizzy from time to time, or in fact that when you do add a product onto it and it's pretty much just sucking it up straight away, you're having to add it frequently, constantly adding moisture, this can be an indication that you are suffering from high porosity hair, which is the complete opposite to low porosity, to when you're adding a product on your hair and it's just sitting on it. So it's the complete opposite. If your hair has a low porosity level, then it's a general rule to try and avoid products with a lot of protein in them, and this is because low porosity hair is also known as protein sensitive hair. Whereas if your hair does have a high porosity level, it's okay to be using those products with protein because your hair is going to love it. So if you're a little bit confused of which category you fall in, low, medium, which is normal, or high, then it's always great to be able to test your hair to find out exactly how porous it is. So to test your hair, what do we do? There are a lot of people that have tried to do the cup test, and this is a successful way to try and find out how porous your hair actually is. So all you need to do is fill a cup with some water, and you literally gently pull a couple of strands of your hair out. Try and get one if you can, because this can give us an indication pretty much straight away of how porous your hair is. You're going to place that hair strand in a cup of water. If it floats to the bottom, this means your hair is highly porous. If it is in the middle, this means it's a-okay, and if it's at the top, this means your hair has a low porosity level. So what we're looking for with this test is how well your hair absorbs water. So of course, if it is floating all the way to the bottom, this gives us an indication that it's letting too much water in. And if it's in the middle, this gives us an indication that it's letting just the right amount in. And if it's at the top, which is low porosity, this tells us that it isn't letting anything in at all. So if it's in the middle, that's just about right. That's a normal porosity level. If it's at the very bottom of the cup, this tells us that it's highly porous, letting too much water in. If you find that you can't really tell with this cup test whether this is something that's going to work for you, then there are other tests you can try. Also, it is quite useful to actually leave the cup overnight, so you're giving it time to actually absorb, and it gives you a good indication of just how porous your hair really is. After you have tested your hair, I would suggest checking out on Google just what kind of products are ideal for your porosity level. And of course, it is also great to comment down below and share your tips with other people who might be highly porous or might actually have low porosity levels, so that we can all share with each other the great tips that we are finding when experimenting at home. If you would like more information on how you can make educated decisions on the benefit of your natural hair and its growth, I have kindly put all this information in one place for you, and this is available now on Kindle. It is in the description bar below, so you can click that link right now to get this information all in one place. If you have enjoyed this video today, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share with everyone else that you know. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Money is an obligation, trendsetter.